It is 6:15. You are watching Wake Up Northwest. In this week's Madeline Motivates, you're either dealing with it or hearing about it. Short staffing struggles. Many local businesses are short-staffed right now with employees out because of COVID and other reasons as well. And that likely results in stress for everyone involved. Well, Paul Casey, the owner of Growing Forward Services, is on the phone with us right now to help workers stay motivated while navigating the ever-changing pandemic work environment. Good morning, Paul.
Morning, Madeline.
Well, I mean, the issue kind of falls on a lot of the workers that are still going into the building trying to navigate this. And you help companies work through challenges on a daily basis. So, Paul, what would you say are some ways that we can manage the stress that comes along with short staffing?
Absolutely. I would say a few strategies. One would be strategic stopping. This is actually putting intentional micro breaks into your schedule so that you can reset mentally. I think we have to be intentional about this. They say you shouldn't go more than 45 to 50 minutes without taking a mental vacation. I don't tell your boss that, but that is actually what you're doing. Or if you get stuck on a project, move to some part of the project that you have some control over so the frustration doesn't mount. A second idea I would throw at you is grounding activities. When you're tempted to get overwhelmed, well, overwhelmed is a sign of anxiety, and then your productivity goes into the tank. So you've got to have some type of activity to disconnect. One of my clients calls it a sanity walk. Exercise to do that. You could journal your feelings. Maybe bring in some positive inputs. Maybe it's a positive podcast. And prayer and meditation is great as well. Personally, I use humor by listening to clean comedians on the radio between clients.
Oh, I like that, because I like those tips because you can do that in your spare time when you're not at work. But when we are at work, I mean, Paul, so many of us, we put so much pressure on ourselves to perform our very best, even when we're going through tough times like this. So what would you tell someone who is dealing with issues like short staffing right now?
Yeah, I ask my clients, what's 80% of your stress that you're experiencing right now? And they said, it's myself. I'm putting too much stress on myself, even though I'm in the situation where I'm doing more with less. So conscientiousness is fantastic, but you have to practice self-compassion. Give yourself the grace that a loving friend would give to you. And maybe you have to right-size your goals at work, too, because there just aren't enough people around to do it. One more strategy I'll throw at you is to increase your connection. You might have to ask for help. It's not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of strength at work. Ask for support from people around you, and maybe reconnect with some of those friends or work colleagues that have drifted away in COVID, but we are #better together.
#better together. We've heard that so much, but it's so true because so many of us are actually going through this, or at least you've heard about it here locally. So thank you so much for taking the time to come up with that advice for us, Paul.